Ted, your host. This is part 2. We did part 1. We did part 1 earlier this morning. Where I had what I thought was a 7-point. But it was an 8-point because it had, on its right antler, it had a little crab claw at the end. So I've been sitting since 6:15 this morning. It is now 3 o'clock. Seen a bunch of deer this morning on the live. If you haven't seen part 1, go back over and watch it. Because I had a deer within 20 yards of me that I could have taken. It was a nice buck, but I let it pass. I haven't seen anything since I ended the last live, Tim. But I ate my lunch. I took a pee. And I am still here waiting for the evening. Is my audio okay? Can you guys hear me all right? Give me a thumbs up or let me know if my audio is good. I'm talking as low as I can. This stand is usually a better evening stand than morning stand. But the last couple mornings I sat here, I've seen big bucks. But the biggest being the evening. I've seen the biggest buck out here in the evening. It's a little breezy. But usually about an hour before it gets dark out, the wind usually dies down a little bit, and that's usually when we're getting action here. But I wanted to go now just in case something comes out early. I have had the deer out here at 3 o'clock, as early as 3 o'clock. I think last week we had them out here as early as 2 o'clock. So we'll see what happens this week. No, he stayed home. If he was with me, he would have shot that buck this morning. But he stayed home with his buddies for Halloween week. He's been with me for the last 3 weekends. So he needed a break. I kind of got bummed out when he wasn't here, but it's kind of nice being by yourself too. But I always want my son around me, you know what I mean? Especially when I'm hunting. Or just being around him all the time, but it's hard, you know. He wants to be with his friends and he don't want to hang out with Dad. My daughter's sort of like that too. It's kind of sad, but it happens, you know. I just got to adjust to it. They grow up fast, guys. I'd like to look out here and just see that big rat coming. But we'll see what happens this evening. Yeah, guys, part 1, I had a bunch of doe overnight when I got off of the live. There was a 3-point to come through. He come walking out over here and walk straight out. He walked straight out into the outdoors, the power line. So see what comes out tonight. I'm hoping that 10 point or the big 8 point, and I will definitely shoot them for sure. That 8 point this morning was a borderline deer, for me anyway. He was either a really nice 2.5 or a small 3.5. I haven't seen that groundhog all day. I think I dozed off for like 5 minutes earlier after I ate my sandwiches. I was sitting there. I was charging up my cameras. And I looked and it was like 12:40. And I closed my eyes. And I got up. It seemed like it was 5 minutes, but it was 1:20. So I slept for 40 minutes. That's when that big buck came. Yeah, probably 20 minutes. Because I kept looking odd. I kept waking up and like looking odd, but I closed my eyes and I z'd off. And God knows, I snore. So if there was any deer in the area, they were scared away by that for sure. I have the DJI mics. I have the DJI mics on. I'm talking super low. I don't use the earbuds. I don't like. But the mics are, I could turn them up, but I leave them in a certain decibel. But yeah, I find these to be the best things going right now. I've used earbuds and stuff, but the DJI mics are where it's at. And I just talk down into it if I have to talk. But man, I was going to shoot that buck this morning and I'm like, nope. I'm not like regretting it yet. I'm not like saying, oh man, I wish I should have shot it, because if I wanted to shoot, I would have shot it. But it was close. But I know there's bigger ones in here. And it was the first in the morning, so I figured I would just wait at least till this evening, because the evening is, like I said, usually better. And that 10 point likes to come on around 5-ish. That's the last time I seen them, was at 5. Yep. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for coming in, Aaron. Appreciate it. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't. We got 5 people in here, but nobody hit the like button yet. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me, share it out too. I'm at least going to be going for an hour. So please hit the like button. Carrie, I just got done texting my buddy Carrie. He hasn't seen anything either. But he left and went back to the cabin. Or he went back to camp for, he had to go to the bathroom. So he went to camp to stretch his legs and stuff. So I sat here all day. So far. I'm hoping something happens this evening. Hope we just see deer. It's always a blessing just to see deer, you know. But we've been seeing a lot of them down here, so I'm hoping I get a chance to take one. Like this morning, that was a perfect 22-yard shot. I keep looking up at it, up this gas line. I call it a gas line. It's not really a gas line. It's a path that goes out to a gas well. But I call it a gas line. It's not a gas line. But I keep looking up there because that's where they usually come from. But last week, the 10-point came from to the right. And there was a doe here. And it was eating the rye. Because we have my dad planted a little bit of rye on the outskirts, everything that was brown. He put rye in there. And they were eating the new rye. It was about 3 or 4 inches. And they were loving it. I guess because it's tender and it's just starting to grow. Well, there was a doe in there. And I seen her look. And so I looked out the right window. Theo was here. And he was standing over there. He came up. And he stood there. And then he walked over. And I grunted. He come over. And he went back around and went down into the woods to the right of me. But he never come over here. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens tonight. I'll show you the food plot real quick. That's what we're looking at, guys. And those deer come from right there down that path. There's a path right there. They come out of there all the time. And they come out of right there. So seen a deer come up that way, but last week they did come up there after Theo shot his buck. They come up that way, so I guess that's kind of a frequent way they come up, and that's where my stand is, down over in the valley down there. I don't know exactly where they walked up through, but I know where they came into the field at. I'm just gonna let it on the food plot for a while. There's no reason why you should be looking at me. I'm just showing you what I'm looking at right now. We will see what happens. If you look at the leaves, you can see how breezy it is. And deer don't like the wind, I'll tell you that. They like the wind blowing steady. They don't like them big gusts. They can't smell everything, or they can't pinpoint it. So this evening, if that wind don't die down and they come into the food plot, you'll see how skittish they can be. What's crazy is this year I haven't seen anything come out of the left corner of this food plot as you're looking at it right now. That's usually where they used to always come out of. They've went into there, but I haven't seen anything come out of there. see a lot of birds flying around. I just see shadows. Come on. Yeah, my clocks go back automatically. But thanks for the reminder. That means I'll have to be in here earlier tomorrow. I'll have to get to bed early. Hey Gary, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming in. If you didn't see part 1 of this, I had an opportunity at a buck, but I passed him up. It's a nice 8-point. I thought he was a 7-point. But I looked at the picture of him, because I take pictures of him. It's the rut that you can see him anytime during the day. But rut yet, but I wanted to sit in here all day today, so I did, to see if I get any midday activity. Because last week when my son shot his deer, we came up at 12:30 to go look for him, and there was a big buck. I think it was a big buck. We jumped out of here, and that was midday. It was 12:30, so I wanted to sit. So I've been sitting here since 6:15 this morning, and now it's getting good again. I mean, usually this is a better evening stand than morning, but the last couple mornings I've sat here, my son has seen many big bucks for him to shoot and for me to shoot. But he didn't come down this weekend because he was with his friends. Yep, the moon phase affects deer movement, but not as much. Pay attention to the moon phase as much as I pay attention to barometric pressure and weather. Weather trumps everything, even in fishing. But we'll see how the evening is. It's a beautiful day out. It's a little breezier than it was earlier. I know the deer don't like the wind, but it's not too bad. If it was really, really gusting, I'd say, eh. But it usually calms down about an hour before it gets dark. And usually they'll start moving then if it's too windy. But right now we can see them at any time. Because it's close to rut. I mean, the rut should be just about here almost. It's November 1st, so I'm thinking the next few days it's going to start kicking off. And it might kick off in your area right now. Like, in different people's areas. The further south you go, the later it is because it's warmer, but it's the daylight, the losing of the light quicker triggers that. And weather, I believe the weather, the cooler, I mean, they'll still rut when it's warm out, but it's usually night activity. But the rut is usually about the same time every year in your area, so if you're seeing deer running around, mark it on your calendar, because that's usually the same time next year too. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna get this over here a little bit. never know what's going to show up. But like I said, I'm glad I passed that one up this morning. Because there's a bigger 8 and a bigger 10 than I know of. Now there's always deer that you don't see. Like just having cameras out doesn't mean you see every deer in your woods. A lot of people hunt their cameras and think, oh, I don't see any deer on my camera that I want to shoot, but they don't realize that the buck walked in front of the camera 40 yards and didn't get a picture of it. So you never know. I mean, eventually you're going to get the picture, but you can't always, especially the rut. You never know what you're going to see during the rut in this time of year because deer are traveling to find does, and from the best areas to be and where the does are, the bucks are going to be. So what we try to do here is attract the does to the food plot, which attract the bucks. But I've seen more bucks than does this year, which is good because that means they're looking. I believe it was 6:48, so tomorrow will be an hour earlier, probably 5:48. It got light out at 7:48 today. So it'll get light out tomorrow around 6:48. So I'll have to be in the stand at 5:15 instead of 6:15, like today. I like to be in here at least an hour early. Gives everything time to settle down and calm back down. Like if I kicked anything up or disturbed anything on the way in, usually about an hour is what it takes to, come back. Now there's sometimes you kick them out of here and they won't come back, especially a big buck. And walking in on these food plots is tough. But this isn't like a normal food plot, and that's what a lot of people think, oh, you don't hunt over the food plot. Well, this is a plot that's in the woods. There's woods all around this. It ain't a big field. Down below me is a big field, and across there's a couple fields, but this is like the first stop of the evening for them, and the last stop of the morning before they go bed up back in here. So they come out, hit this plot, and they move on. Or in the mornings, I think that's why I'm seeing them later, like 8 or 9, because they're coming from somewhere, coming to here to bed down over that way, and they're stopping in this food plot. So those bucks that are hitting this pear tree, in the evening they're coming out, they're putting their scent on the pear tree, and they're leaving. And that's for like the does that are coming in here at night or whatever. And then when they go back to bed, they put their scent on that pear tree and leave remarks and come through here, grab a last bite to eat and go. So that's what I think, and that's why I think this food plot is so successful during the season. You can catch deer in here because it's not like a normal food plot out there where you gotta hunt the paths to the food plot. This is like a small shot plot. It's only about a half an acre, but it's in the woods. There's woods everywhere around it. It ain't like field everywhere and then there's a food plot. It's just something different. I am crossbow hunting. I got my crossbow. Yep. If you want to watch the part 1, I did one this morning. go check out that live after this, and you'll see the buck that I passed up, and I rattled in a 5.12. I knew I was going to do that. No problem. We got a lot of deer action this morning on the live, so that was a pretty good one. After the live, I got some text messages from people and said that was a very good live because there was a lot of action. I was really close to taking that buck because we were live, but I'm not gonna. I didn't want to shoot that buck at that time. I was going to because we were live so you guys could see, but if that buck comes in tonight, I may do it, but I still got tomorrow morning as well. And then I am going to Ohio the week of the 9th. To hunt. And my buddy's been down there every weekend, and he's taking off. He's taking off when I'm taking off. I think he's taking off Wednesday. So this Wednesday all the way past where I'm going. So he's off for like 10 days or 13 days. I'm taking the week of the 9th off and staying down there, but all the shooters are not on camera, not even at night. But the farmers didn't cut the corn down yet, so I think they're in the corn and they're not moving. They're not moving to the bait piles because they don't need to because they got all the food. So I think once they cut the corn down, it'll be better. So we'll see. There's only one shooter. Well, the temps this morning were 32 degrees. It's 6 o'clock. And it's supposed to get up to 55 or even 60. But sitting here all day, I'm sitting till dark. Sitting here feels a lot cooler than it is because you're just not moving and you're sitting here all day. So you tend to be colder. But if like I was up and walked around, it would be warm. But it's chilly. But yeah, it was 32 degrees this morning. And it's supposed to get up to 55 or 60 today. And I think from 3 to 4 right now is the warmest. And it's not real warm. So, and the wind makes it feel a little cooler than it is. But that's perfect for deer hunting. Figure you get 30-degree mornings. And then you warm up a little bit. That's good. That way I don't have a heater in here. I don't even have my heavy gear on right now. I have my thermal. I have my Sitka 330 Merino wool on. And I have my Fanatic hoodie on. I got my jacket laying across here to set my crossbow on. I didn't even put my jacket on. I got my thin baklava, my headgear on. I got a regular hat with holes in it. I don't have any of my really warm gear on, and I got my rubber boots on. They're insulated, but you know how rubber boots are when it's cold. What's up, Alvin? Thanks for coming in. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this morning when I rattled and that buck come running right through the woods right to me. He came in and looked around and left. And I rattled again and he came running back down the gas line. He came into the field and looked around and came right over to me. That was a 5-point. He's a big 5-point. He needs about a year or two, though. So we got to remember him. But any of these bigger deer that we're seeing now, if they make it, which they probably won't down here, people who are nuts down here, they shoot everything. If they make it to next year, man, they're going to be hammers. Every once in a while I sit back to stretch my back out. But yeah, the action stopped about 10 o'clock. All the action. And I haven't seen a deer from 10 o'clock till present time. So I'm anxious to get some deer moving. Then when I go back tonight, I have to charge all my batteries in my ozonics because my one battery died. It lasts 4 hours. And that died, and I have another 8-hour battery. So that usually gets me through the whole day of 10 or 12-hour sit. So that's about it. I haven't seen Jason. I always want to say JJ Drones, but JJ's Lifted Horizons. It's just natural for me to say JJ Drones. But I haven't seen Jason on any of the lives I've done in a while. I haven't seen him too much. I know he's busy. Very cool, Gary. All right, thanks, buddy. Enjoy your camping trip. My thumb is killing me. We'll see what happens, guys. Here's the boring part of hunting when you're just sitting waiting. I'm always enjoying it, though. You never know when it's going to happen. And the last couple sits here, we haven't been disappointed. There was one time, it was Theo and I were sitting there, and I think we only seen some doe in the evening. We didn't see any buck, or we seen a small buck. But we've always seen deer sitting here. But the 10-point was the evening, and all the other ones were mornings. So we'll see what happens. Last couple mornings they'd come in, and it would still be dark, and they'd be under that pear tree rubbing their antlers. Putting their scent on the tree before they go bed down. from our left about 40 yards away and walked over. It was too dark to shoot or even see. It went in and made the scraping and just left. That tells me they're hitting that for a reason. They should start moving soon though. See what happens. We'll see what tonight brings, and then tomorrow morning. And I've been seeing a lot of big birds flying over this food plot. I keep seeing big shadows, so I don't know where they're. I'm looking for like buzzards and a smell for Theo's buck. But when that video comes out, guys, you're gonna want to go see that. It's a cool video. Got some big bucks in that video. But I don't want to spoil it all and tell you everything. We'll go for another 15 or 20 minutes. And then I'm going to button it up and I'm going to hunker down and get ready to roll. I ain't gonna lie, it was 12:40. I closed my eyes, woke up, it was 1:20. So unless that big buck walked through there, I missed him. But I don't think he would walk through, because if I was sleeping, I was snoring. Unless it attracted him like a grunt call, but I snore, so I kept everything. I'm surprised Carrie didn't hear me down there snoring. But Carrie saw a 6-point this morning. I seen that same 6-point come up here, and it pushed the doe up to the power line. So that's what we want. We want movement in the middle of our property. That's the reason why we put the stuff in it. So the food plot's in the middle of our property to get deer movement from, plot to plot and stuff like that. So yeah. We'll see how many people come in. And if we get more people in here, I'll stay live. And if I see a buck and I'm going to shoot, I'll shoot it live. And I won't cut the video. But if we don't get that many people in, I'm probably going to end it. So if you guys would mind sharing it out. And if we get people in here, we might have this live going on for prime time. So share it out, let people know we're watching. Tell them prime time's 5-ish, 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. No, I'm just gonna, it's like, I'll say 5 to 7 because I don't even know what time it gets dark out today. It got light out at this morning. I'm thinking at 6:48. Tonight, I can't remember what time it gets dark. But it usually it'll stay lighter out on this. You know, you can see better all the way to last shooting light. On this food plot, you can go all the way up to last shooting light. When you're in the woods, it never works out because it's always darker in the woods. But it would be cool for you guys to see me shoot a buck live. I just cut the video. I just take the live footage and move it over into my video. So that's not a real big deal. So let's try to get a lot of people in here so I can stay live. I'll answer any questions or anything that you guys have. But it's getting to be, you know, it's getting around that time, so share this out with your friends. Call them up, send them an email, text them, and say Off the Hook is live deer hunting from the blind overlooking the food plot with the Off the Hook blend. That's going to be coming on sale next year in quarter-acre bags. Off the Hook blend has kestrel kale, dwarf Essex rape, daikon radish, and purple top turnips. That's a killer fall blend, as you can see out here. Look at this. Look how green that is. And the thing is this summer we had a drought, and my dad come up here and watered this, which I think saved it. And then after that it rained. But then he fertilized it with some foiler spray, 10-10-10, because they didn't have 2-18-18. And we got some good stuff on there. And we didn't need the nitrogen, but we got it anyway because it was the only stuff they had. And the nitrogen will go into the ground if it's liquid. So that was no big deal, but it got a jump. But the thing is, it never got to its full maturity because it grew so slow from the drought. That's why I think these deer are hammering this. And that's something you guys need to look at. Food plots. From just listening to other people and from looking and seeing the results. It's the most palatable right now because it's young and green. When it gets old, mature and woody, they don't prefer it as much. Now there'll be more tonnage because you'll have bigger plants, but the deer choose to want that fresh young green growth, that tender growth. And when you have a food plot like this that didn't reach maturity, I think it helped us this year and didn't hurt us. Now, if they get mature and they get woody, then, I mean, the deer will still eat them, but they don't prefer it. So I think the deer are coming here because they prefer this than eating the woody stuff. It's more palatable. And just remember that when you're planting your food plots, you don't have to have a mature food plot to make it work. These deer prefer that young, tender shoots and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about maturity. I was always worried about the maturity rate, and then I started reading about it, and people were talking about it, and Josh Bowmore was talking about it, and he said, you don't have to get it to maturity. They prefer the tender green stuff, the immature stuff. And I said, you know what? He's right. Because this year with all these deer in here eating it up. So, just something to think about. I just thought I seen a tail flicker about 100 yards away. It might have been a bird flying away. But it looked like a white tail flicker, I guess. But I want to see a rack come down in the sun, gleaming and walking. With at least 8 points. I'm going to go try to find Theo's deer this weekend. I still think it's done. I still think he killed that deer. I hate saying killed. Harvest. But I hear everybody saying kill. I just think it's called harvesting because you're taking from something. So it's harvesting. Just like you're growing corn and you pick the corn, that's called harvesting. I think you're picking the animals out of nature, so it's called harvesting. It's a little more palatable word since we're using palatable. A little more palatable word than kill. I'm going to kill a deer. I don't think that sounds unprofessional. Now, when you harvest a deer, you're taking an animal out of its natural environment. Then it's called harvesting. That's what I believe anyway. I mean, if you pick vegetables, you're killing them. So you don't say, I'm going to kill some corn. You say, I'm going to harvest some corn. So why wouldn't you say that about deer? They're both living. But I guess one has a pump station and one don't. Meaning the heart. Alright guys, I think we're going to end this. So just keep an eye out for the videos coming out, alright guys? And thank you. I may do live tonight from the camp. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll recap the hunt. But I'm going to end the live now just to see what's going to happen. I'm going to cut a video. So, alright guys, I'm going to get going. Remember, like, subscribe, hit your notifications to all. Share us out. And the notifications to all so you can be notified when we upload new videos and do giveaways. I still haven't done my giveaway yet, but I have a thank you giveaway. And I have a lot of prizes today to say thank you. but I just haven't had time to do it, so I apologize for that, but it's coming soon. But you have to be subscribed to the channel. So if you know anybody that wants any kind of clothing, or if anybody wants any kind of deer cameras, trail cameras, tell them they have to subscribe to the channel. Alright guys.